Hey everybody, what I've got here is the Rhino Ready Companion. This is an off-the-shelf, ready-to-use two-person survival system. We're going to check it out, and then we'll also see if we can make some improvements to it coming up right now on Kitbashed Survival. Alright, so here's the shipping box that the Rhino Ready Companion showed up in, and I wanted to leave it in the box to start off with so that you guys could, see what it looks like when it shows up on your doorstep. Anyway, as I said, this is a two-person survival system. I expect that a lot of people are going to run comparisons between this and the Uncharted Supply 72-hour survival kit that I reviewed a year or two ago, although that one is a little more expensive. It's right at $600, whereas this one is slightly more affordable at around $400. Now, whenever I review one of these kits, the complaints from viewers usually fall into one of two categories, or sometimes both. First, people like to criticize the quality, presence, or absence of various components, and that's fair. I mean, everybody would like these things to have ultra high quality name brand components, Victorinox and SE knives, Silky saws, and Leatherman tools, but having ultra high quality components would increase the cost of the kit. And the people who make these kits are trying to balance affordability and quality, and so sometimes quality takes a dip to make it more affordable. And that kind of leads into the second complaint, which is price. Now, it is always going to be cheaper to build a survival kit at home rather than buying one pre-made off the shelf. There are no exceptions. There is no way a pre-made off the shelf kit is going to be as inexpensive as a homemade kit. It just doesn't happen, because when you buy one of these things, you're paying for the labor involved in producing it, the shipping and the warehouse costs, and also the company selling these needs to make a profit so that they can, stay in business. So yeah, always cheaper to make it at home. Somebody's going to say, oh, $400, I can make that for 50 bucks. Well, yeah, maybe you could, because you're not a company trying to sell these at a profit. And also, when you consider the price and the quality of the components, you have to consider the market segment to which these things are being targeted. So people like myself and a lot of the people that watch this channel, we are survival enthusiasts, for lack of a better term. We enjoy building survival kits. Most people are not like that. There's a lot of people out there who just want to buy one off the shelf and then throw it in a closet or the trunk of the car and be done with it. And that's what these things are here for. We've got the little Rhino here, and then shelter, fire, water, and first aid. And I think it's kind of cute on the top, the packing tape. Ready, tear in case of emergency, Rhino ready. Like you just buy the box, throw it in the car or closet, and then when you're ready, you tear off the tape. Anyway, let's cut this thing and take a look. This thing is quite heavy. I'm going to weigh it when we get it out of the box. And there we are. Well, I have to admit, it looks pretty cool. So let's bring in our scale and see where this thing weighs in at. Looks like right at 18 pounds, 14 ounces. So yeah, pretty hefty. Actually, now that I think about it, I do a lot of backpacking, and 18 pounds would be considered lightweight in the backpacking world, so it's not so bad. Anyway, they make a couple different color combinations of this bag. They've got the black and orange that you see here, and then they've also got a blacked out version that is, of course, all black. And I know somebody's going to ask, if you want to, you can just buy the empty bag. I believe it sells for right at $170, so there's that as well. Anyway, let's take a look here. Got a tag here. The model is the Companion, issue number 0001, Use Survival System, designed, tested, and assembled in USA. That's pretty cool. I don't think all the components are made here, of course, but it's nice that they design it, test it, and assemble it here. Rhino ready, built to go the distance. So the bag seems really sturdy. The material is sort of a rubberized material that makes it water resistant. Kind of reminds me of the Uncharted survival bag, although that bag was sort of fabricy on the outside and rubberized on the inside. This seems to be rubberized all the way through. So yeah, got these buckles on the front, got a pocket here, got some loops here, The zipper goes all the way around, so this thing opens up like a suitcase, which is kind of cool. And then we've got, you know, the carrying straps here, shoulder straps, and then a waist strap. And you got a chest strap here. Pretty cool. Don't see any pockets on the straps or anything, but they seem pretty well made. Got some nice padding, so I'm sure it's reasonably comfortable. Got some rubberized loops on the corners. Here's what the underside looks like. And then over here we've got our first item. We've got this little stretchy pocket, and inside this looks like probably one of these signaling bandanas, you know, with some common handy information on it. You've probably seen these before. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty big. Feels nice, feels like cotton. And it's just got a whole bunch of tips on there. Shelter, water, first aid, communication. You are built to go the distance. Stay strong. Wound care, that's part of the first aid stuff. Food and fire. Yeah, pretty cool. And that's right on the outside where it's handy. All right, so let's open this thing up. We've got these Velcro straps on top. And we'll set it on its side. Like that. And then we've got the zipper that comes around this way. And by the way, the zippers on this thing are really beefy, big zippers with these rubberized seals to help keep water out. Water resistant, not waterproof. Wow, I gotta admit that looks pretty cool. Again, very reminiscent of the Uncharted supply kit. So we got warmth and shelter, sight and air, tools and nav, water bottle, light, communication, food and water, and first aid. You know, looking at the interior layout of this pack, I can tell they've made some changes to it since they first began selling it, because if you look at the pictures on their website, the layout and configuration of the interior compartments is quite different. The contents are the same, but the layout is different. So we'll check out the warmth and shelter compartment first. It's got raincoats, a tube tent, blankets, warmers, and gloves. And I think these compartments can be detached from the bag. Yeah. Like that. I gotta say, these pouches are pretty well made. Very durable. It's kind of a rubberized material, much like the pack itself. Probably to help with water resistance. Nice Velcro. So let's see what we have. There's one Mylar blanket. There's probably a second one in here too. Yep, there it is. Waterproof, reusable, non-toxic, 51 by 82 inches, 28 thickness, and 90% heat retention. Looks like they're orange. Then we got some warmers. These are just big warming pads, not specifically hand warmers, which is nice. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. 24 plus hours. 5 by 4 inches. Yeah, hand body warmer. I kind of like that they're the big ones rather than the smaller hand warmers. That way you can use them any way you want. Okay, then we got a raincoat. I'm not going to take this all the way out, but let's see. It's pretty nice material. It's like a waterproof nylon kind of material. Not bad at all. And there should be 2 of these. Yep. Then we've got our tube tent, Mylar survival shelter. And I'm sure this is like those Life Tent Mylar tube tents. I have no doubt. Yeah, except this one's green. That's kind of nice. Let's see the green Mylar there. Wonder if it has corded. Yeah, it's got some cordage in it too. Green cordage. Very cool. I like that. Then we've got a couple pairs of gloves. Let's see what these are like. They're a little tight because I have big hands. You know what? These gloves are not the same as these. I wonder if it's 2 different sizes. That would be really cool. Let me try these on. Oh yeah. That's really cool. So they have a large set and then sort of a medium set. Wow, these are really comfortable. I like these. Nice durable work gloves. And they're pretty warm too, I must say. That is really cool that they have 2 different sizes of gloves. And they're color coded too. So you got the black ones and then the black with the orange band. And, you know, I think that works into the 2-person survival kit mentality because, you know, if I was surviving with a second person, it would probably be my girlfriend. And she has smaller hands than I do. So these would be for her and these would be for me. Yeah, this is really cool. Really well thought out. I gotta say, even though we're only through 1 pouch so far, this seems to be a better quality kit than the Uncharted Supply. I remember the gloves in the Uncharted Supply kit being really kind of shiny rubber and they were really tight. These feel great. I mean, I could use these every day. And they look cool too. Oh, and I like how the inside of the pouch is orange. Kind of a nice touch. Very cool. Okay, next up we've got the Sight and Air pouch that has goggles and masks. So we should have 2 pairs of goggles. Yep. And a couple masks. And we do. I think that's it. Yep. So here we've got some N95 masks. I'm not going to take those out. Pretty self-explanatory. Nice. NIOSH N95. And then we've got our goggles. Let's see what these are like. It's weird, they're not in a bag. They're like in a wrappy thing that wraps around the goggles, but doesn't come off. I guess that just goes on the back of your head. It's kind of cool. That way you don't lose the bag. It stays with the goggles. They look pretty good. Let's see if these are the same size. I wonder if they did the same thing with the goggles as they did with the gloves. Nah, those are the same size. Yeah, looks nice. And I really like that the bag stays on the strap. Just put it on the back of your head like that. Also kind of keeps the buckle from hitting your head. Very cool, very clever. And then when you want to put them away, it's that easy. You don't have to go searching for the bag. Just do like that. I like it. Up next, we've got the Tools and Nav pouch. Fire starter, multi-tool, notebook, zip ties, compass, knife, tape, and pen. And I'd imagine this will be the most criticized pouch of the kit because it probably doesn't have any name brand knives or Leatherman or something like that. Wow. Got a lot of zip ties though, look at that. Different sizes too. Got a bunch of these green ones that are fairly long, and then we got a bunch of these gray ones that are shorter. Wow. These are nice quality zip ties too. G10 and G2. I wonder if that's some sort of rating for a zip tie. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments section. And they've got it fastened up with zip ties as well. Very cool. All right, then we got some cordage. Wow. This is the same type of cordage that was with the Mylar tube tent. Nice and consistent. It's probably about 50 feet or so. 550 paracord. Nice green color. Very cool. All right, then we've got a knife. We'll check that out in just a second. Got a very generous roll of duct tape. I like that. And then we've got our multi-tool. Got a waterproof notebook. Okay, so on the side we've got a ferro rod. Pretty thick. Seems to be good quality. Oh, you know what? The multi-tool was in this pouch, so this must be the compass. Very nice. Okay, so here's the multi-tool. Now, I'm sure it's not a Leatherman or Gerber or anything like that, but wow. This thing's pretty darn hefty, I gotta say. Maybe they had Gerber or somebody make it for them? I don't know. But it seems pretty hefty, yeah. I mean, I know it's not a Leatherman, but it's not bad. Got the pliers there, and then we got, let's see. Well, the knife is sharp. I just cut myself. Oh, there it is. So we got a serrated blade, flathead screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver. Then we got the regular blade that just cut the tip of my finger. I'm shedding blood for this video. Then we got a bottle opener and can opener, looks like. Another flathead screwdriver slash chisel. We got a punch. And then a file. And another flathead screwdriver slash chisel. Yeah, like I said, I know this is not a Leatherman or anything like that. But it's very sturdy, very heavy. I mean, it's fairly well made. I mean, for an off-brand multi-tool, it's really not that bad. Definitely seems better quality than the one that was in the Uncharted supply kit. All right, and then we've got our knife. Again, not a name brand. Does have the little Rino logo there. Good weight. Feels good in the hand. It's got a little finger guard here, some jimping up here. Got a little hammer thing back there for breaking glass or just hammering something. I like the orange handle. It makes it easy to see if you drop it on the ground. Fairly sharp. I'm getting blood on it. I should probably go get a Band-Aid. Yeah, I mean, again, it's not a name brand, but it seems pretty well made. And, you know, certainly for 1 to 3 days survival, you know, 72 hours, something like that, it would be just fine. See where the balance is at. Pretty well balanced, right where it needs to be. Full tang. And I like how it's got the screws through the scales. You know, so it's not some one-piece thing that came out of a mold. It was actually assembled. A couple buttons to keep it in place. Stays where it's at. And you got that stuff on the back to make mounting easy. And you got your ferro rod. Really not bad at all. All right, then we've got our compass. Nice little pouch. Rino. Again, it's not a name brand, it's not a Sunto or anything, but it does work. It is accurate. It's got a mirror under this protective film. I'm going to leave that on for now. Yeah, not bad at all. Here's that aluminum water bottle. Pretty standard. It's got a nice wood top. Built to go the distance. Rhino ready. Yeah, I like the little handle there. That's good. It's nothing fancy, but it'll get the job done. Next pouch is light and communications. Alright, so we've got 2 yellow chem lights. 12-hour glow. And we've got a flashlight, or a torch. Looks like it's rechargeable. Got a nice weight to it. Probably have to take a little thing out. Yeah, there it is. Looks like it's got a rechargeable 18650 battery. Rhino. Oh yeah, bright, medium, low, slow flash, fast flash, off. You can also focus the beam. Yeah, that's plenty bright. Nice functionality, nice weight. Build quality seems good. I like it. Now, where's the recharge port? There it is. And then they give you a micro USB charging cable. Very cool. And a nice pouch too. Okay. And we've got a thing of matches. Okay. All weather matches. Oh, right on. It's been branded for Rhino, but this is definitely one of those Yuko Storm Match containers. They're usually orange, but yeah, this is definitely the same thing as those Yuko Storm Matches. There's the cotton on top to keep them from jostling around. Got a bunch of really nice storm matches. 20 storm matches, and then there's some extra striker surfaces too. Very nice. And what else do we have here? Got a headlamp. Oh, lots of light. Flashlight and a headlamp. Not bad at all. 3 AAA batteries. Seems pretty typical. Put the batteries in there and we'll see how it does. Oh yeah. Bright, medium, low. Then there's the flash. Yeah. 120 lumens, waterproof, high, low, and strobe, and runs on 3 AAA batteries, and it's waterproof and shockproof. Pretty impressed with all the lighting options in this kit. Oh, what's this? It's the instructions for the radio. Nope, only got one of these crank radios. It's got a solar panel up here, and then the hand crank. And then you can also charge it up via USB-C. And you can also use it as a power bank. It's got a USB output. Okay, the light's on. It's very dim, but if I crank it, I'm sure it'll get brighter. Yep. And it's got bright, medium, and low. And I think it's also got a siren. There it is. That's pretty loud. Got the antenna. Got AM, FM, and weather band, tuning dial, and volume. Let's try it out.
Iron Radio starts now.
Probably going to be hard to pick up the weather band in this house because I've got LED lights all over the place and all sorts of other interference. But I'm sure it works. Yeah. You know, your typical crank radio, but it works. Looks nice. Functional. What's not to like? And I think there's also a USB-C charger cord right here for the crank radio. I should say crank radio / flashlight. Obviously, these would be your primary light sources, but this is a nice emergency backup. And you've also got a radio. Looks like the battery in there is 2000 milliamps, so you could charge a phone or something off of it if you had to. You wouldn't get very many charges out of it, but it is something. Next, we've got food and water. There's everything. I like how the interior colors change per pouch. So this one's got a blue interior. So we've got a whole bunch of these Datrex water rations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, not bad. Now these are only 4.227 ounces, so not very much. But as I've said when I've reviewed other kits, the point of these, I mean, this is not going to sustain you the entire time, but this is enough to get started until you can secure more water. And toward that end, you would use something like this. And I think this is a water filter. Yeah. So we've got the Scout water filter. Dirty water goes in, clean water comes out. Pretty simple. Whoops. Okay, so this is for your clean water. This is for your dirty water, conveniently colored, so you don't mix it up. Brown for dirty, blue for clean. And then here's your filter, which is something like a Sawyer. And it's color-coded on the filter too, so brown goes in there, blue goes down here. You squeeze it through. Very cool. Sort of like a Sawyer squeeze. Got these nice bags. And you've also got a little window so you can see the filters. I guess that helps you see if they're getting dirty or not. And it's got bottle threads, so you could put a bottle of water here and then just drink out of the other end. Or you could put a bottle on both ends. Or the bag. So, very cool. Little carabiners. Very nice. And then we've got our food. We've got 2 of these Datrex ration packs. These are actually pretty good. They're kind of like coconut sugar cookies. And each pack gives you, I believe, 2,400 calories. Yeah. So 2,400 calories per person. If that's over 3 days, that's 800 calories per person. You're not going to be living in luxury and happy, but you will survive. A lot of people sometimes forget that surviving is just not dying. Okay, lastly, we've got the first aid pouch, which is red. I'm willing to bet the interior is red as well. This one actually has a zipper on it. It's kind of cool. Oh yeah, opens up like a first aid kit. Makes sense. I like that. They didn't just throw it in another pouch like the other stuff. They actually had a custom pouch for the first aid kit. And look at that. Very well laid out. I like this already. So up here it looks like we've got our bandages and bleeding control to some extent. So we've got a triangular bandage. Then we've got an assortment of adhesive bandages or band-aids. And you can see it's a pretty good assortment. Got another, this is a second triangular bandage. Roll of gauze. Roll of medical tape. Then we've got 2 rolls of that self-adhesive bandage tape. You know, you wrap it around and it sticks to itself. This is great to have. And it's nice they have 2 rolls of it. Very generous. Okay. 2 sterile gauze pads, 4x4. I love how even the first aid stuff is Rino branded. Kind of cool. Got 10 cotton balls. Wow. And then we've got 2 of these trauma pads, 5 by 9 inches. And we've got this middle section. Compressed gauze, 4 by 5 inches by 4.1 yards, 8 ply. All right, here's antiseptic towelettes. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And it looks like there's more here too. Yeah, 4 more antiseptic towelettes, so a total of 8 of these bad boys. Not bad. And we've got, oh, what is this? Yeah, infectious waste bags. Okay. We got 2 of these things. Yeah. Just bags for infectious waste, biohazard bags. That's pretty interesting. I've never seen biohazard bags in a survival kit before. Wow. Okay. Looks like we got a pair of nitrile gloves. We've got, oh, this is one of those CPR kits. Yeah. Not CPR, wrong word. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation device, quick saver. So it helps you give mouth-to-mouth to somebody without smooching them. We've got a black pair of nitrile gloves. That's nice. 2 people, 2 pairs of gloves. Got a pair of shears. Tweezer. And a cold compress. And over here we've got an empty pouch here, which is good. That means we've got space to put medicines and other personal kind of stuff there. You know, if you've got allergies and you need an EpiPen or something, you could put it in there. All right, then we've got a first aid guide. And then just a bunch of bags. Oh, got some safety pins there. And then we've got just a bunch of bags for pills. So I like this. They've got this whole space where you can put your own personal first aid stuff, whatever you may need. That's great. So no tourniquet, but no big deal. We could add one. And, you know, sometimes I think they leave them out of these off-the-shelf kits because a tourniquet can be a liability, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can actually do a lot more harm than good with a tourniquet. So you really need to know how to use them. And so just randomly putting tourniquets in first aid kits is not always the best idea. And just so you know, this is what the interior of the pack looks like with all the pouches removed. You've got this Velcro backing with this cool kind of Rhino Ready stitching. Okay, so there you have it. That's everything in the Rhino Ready Companion 2-person survival pack. So what do I think of this thing? Well, actually, I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, for one, I think it's a good deal for the money. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But I also like the contents of the kit. It's well thought out, and the quality of the material seems relatively good. I mean, does this have everything you could possibly need in a survival scenario? No, of course not. But it's got all the basics covered. Now, if you live in some extreme environment like the Northwest Territory of Canada or Alaska or the Sahara Desert, obviously you're going to need to tweak this to fit your environment. But as a general purpose survival pack, I think it does a pretty good job. And if you found yourself in a survival situation with this pack, I think you'd have a better than average chance of surviving. Now, you wouldn't be loving life. You're not going to be chopping down trees and building log cabins or anything like that, but you would have a good chance of surviving, and that's the whole goal of this pack. Now let's talk about the price, because someone always wants to complain about the price no matter what it is. They could be selling this thing for $10, and I swear to God, somebody would complain about the price. And usually the complaints take the form of something like, wow, what a ripoff. I could build that thing for half the price. Well, of course you could. As I said in the intro to this video, and I've said in many other videos, it's always cheaper to build a kit on your own than to buy one off the shelf ready-made, just like it's always cheaper to eat at home rather than going out to a restaurant. So when you make a complaint like that, it's really not a valid complaint at all. What you're really doing is stating the obvious. Everybody knows that. When you buy a kit like this, you're not just paying for the cost of the supplies, you're paying for the labor involved in assembling it and shipping and warehousing and all that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's a business. They need to make a profit. They're allowed to make a profit. They're not making these things for charity. And so when you figure all those things in, I think $400 is actually a very reasonable price. And it's a better deal, I think, than the Uncharted supply kit, which was $600. And the last thing I'll say about the price is that if I was advising someone on buying one of these things, if they wanted it, I'd say buy it sooner rather than later, because right now it's $400. But with inflation the way it is, before too long, it might be $500. All right, now comes my favorite part. We're going to kit bash this thing by adding additional gear to it to make it even better than it already is. And I want to stress that I'm not adding additional gear to this kit because I think it's subpar in any way. I think it's good the way it is. You don't have to add anything to it. It hits on all the basics. It's got all the essentials. The gear that I'm going to add is just sort of icing on the cake, if you will, to make it even better. Okay, let's start off by adding some gear to this tools and nav bag. And you know, it just occurred to me, I don't recall seeing a pen in this bag. These things are packed by human beings, and human beings make mistakes, so maybe they forgot it. I'll have to get in touch with the folks over at Rino Ready and see if they can send me one, but it's not a big deal. It's just a pen. So we'll start off by adding a pencil. There we go. Then I've got this bag, and inside I've got a couple of nails, about 4 paper clips. I've got a small liquid compass to act as a secondary compass to the primary one that's already in the bag. I've got a metal pencil sharpener, and then I've got 2 thick rubber bands. And we'll stick that in there. Then I've got a butane lighter. This is a clipper, and I like these because, for one, they're refillable, and for another, you can remove the flint assembly if you need to and use it as a spark tool. Pretty cool. And then I've got a zip tie around it so that the little button doesn't accidentally depress while it's in the bag and release all the butane. Then I'll add a couple things for tinder. I've got a bag full of fat wood. That always helps to start a fire. And I've got a bag with 6 of these wax impregnated pieces of cotton. And that'll help as well. Also, even though I know there's a whistle on the front of the bag, I'm going to add this larger flat whistle because it'll be louder and have a fuller tone. And then I'll also add to the cordage situation here by adding about 12 feet of this 100-pound micro cord. And that should do it for this bag. Next up, I'm going to add a whole bunch of first aid stuff. And the first aid bag lends itself to adding extra gear because they've got those 2 pockets right over here that are basically empty. Actually, it's 1 big pocket, not 2 pockets. So first up, I'll add some insect repellent, and this might actually fit over here somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, I think it might just fit in there. Put those scissors back over there. Then I'm going to use these pill bags for a bunch of pills. So in this bag, I've got pain relief, ibuprofen, diclofenac, acetaminophen, stuff like that. In this bag, I've got anti-nausea meds and heartburn meds. In this bag, I've got 6 Benadryls for allergies. And then in this bag, I've got 6 Imodiums for diarrhea. I'll put this first aid guide back in here as well. And the safety pins. We've got 1 extra pill bag just in case we need it. Then I've got 2 packets of 50 SPF sunscreen and 2 packs of triple antibiotic. And because these are lotions and creams and stuff like that, I'm going to put these in a Ziploc bag so that just in case they burst for some reason, it won't get all over everything else. I've got 2 of these Porta-Wipe towels. These are those ones you put a little water on and they expand. And these are roughly 12 inches by 22 inches. Then I've got a couple rolls of TP. The all-important TP. Keeps you from having to use leaves. I'm also going to add a DermaSafe razor knife. There it is. Then I've got this bag, and inside I've got 6 Q-tips and 3 tampons. Obviously, this is a 2-person survival kit. My girlfriend might be with me, and so I've got some emergency tampons if she needs them. And also, these can be used as emergency fire tinder as well. And then lastly, this is a real luxury item. I've got a tube of toothpaste and a little travel toothbrush. Don't really need it, but it's nice to have. Now, theoretically, there might be 2 of us, but you know what? If we're in a survival situation, we'll share. It'll be okay. Actually, it looks like there might be room for a second toothbrush, so here we go. Now everybody's happy. Oh wait, I almost forgot. The tourniquet. You can all relax now. I've got the tourniquet. Everything will be okay. Don't freak out. God forbid I don't have a tourniquet. Okay, now let's open up this food and water pouch. And we'll add a few things. Although it's pretty packed the way it is. So first up, I'll add this emergency stove. This came out of a Russian MRE. So it's got the folding stove and 3 fuel tablets. Then I've got a pack of glucose tablets, just for a quick rush of sugar. And then I've got 3 packs of freeze-dried coffee. Then I've got some hunting stuff. I've got an emergency fishing kit made by Best Glide ASE and some snare wire. And lastly, this is a real luxury item. I've got a little bottle of whiskey. You never know, whiskey could come in handy in a survival situation for all sorts of reasons. Oh, a couple more things for the food and water bag. I've got 12 water purification tablets, just in case the water filter fails. And then I've got a 1 liter stand-up water bag, just for added water storage. You know, all the gear that I'm adding to this kit is coming out of a bin that I've got behind the camera. And I just realized that some of the stuff fell to the bottom of the bin. So I want to add that and also make a last-minute rearrangement of some of the gear. So in this tools and nav bag, I added the fire gear to this bag, but in reality, it should be in this bag because this is just tools. It says fire starter, and so that's why I initially added it to this bag, but just for the sake of being organized, it should be in the other bag. Not that it really matters. So there's that fat wood, there's the tinder, and there's the lighter. And then the rest of this stuff will go back in there. But one thing that I wanted to add is a Swiss Army knife. This is a Victorinox Huntsman. It's got a lot of nice little tools, including the saw and the scissors, which I really like on the Victorinox tools. And you've also got a couple knives and other handy tools as well. Tweezers and stuff like that. So we'll put that down there. There that goes. And then this stuff will go in the light and communications pouch. And then another couple items that I meant to add to the first aid kit, or the first aid kit bag, I should say. And these are really luxurious items. Got a couple of body wipes. And a pack of tissues. And then the final items that I'll add to the inside of this pack are a couple of these stainless steel cups. And I'm going to try to add them like that. So let's see if I can do that. Let's see if this will work. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, so that does it for the inside of the pack. Now the big question is whether it's going to close up or not. Let's find out. Yeah, that closed up pretty easily. Okay, so now the last thing I'll do, I think, is add a couple items to this exterior pocket. So first up, I've got a contractor bag. You can use these for shelter, for ground cloth, to gather water, all sorts of stuff. And then a street map of Georgia, which is where I live. Okay, and the last thing I'll add, for now at least, I didn't know if there'd be room for it, but now I think there's a little bit of room here in this side pouch, and that is a folding saw. This is a Baco Laplander. There it is. And that'll go right here. And that'll do it. All right, there we go. And just for the curious, Let's see how much this thing weighs now. It was right at 18 pounds before, and now it's at 23 pounds. Not bad. So there you have it, the Rhino Ready Companion 2-person survival pack, made even better with some extra gear. Let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, that's it. I'm Eric Siegel. This is Kitbashed Survival. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.